If you are sleeping around, it's because you don't believe your body is sacred. You don't believe you are sacred. I said it. You do not believe you are sacred if you are sleeping around. You don't. Yes, you. I'm pointing. It's rude to point. I'm pointing.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you remember me at all?
No.
Okay. So can I ask a quick synopsis of what you think the prescription is for society today for men? In a short version, what do you think they should do to be successful with women?
To be successful with women, okay, are we talking about like getting a girl for a long-term relationship, just to get laid? What are we talking about?
Well, I think the only reason should be for a long-term relationship and marriage. I mean, as Jesus Christ founded it. But I'm just curious what your prescription is.
Wow, I totally agree so much. I feel like such a rare man. I know I'm not the only one, and he just proved it. That thinks that when it comes to women, we should be seeking to have a woman for a long-lasting relationship. It's not about one-night stands. I've never been that person. Casual sex, it makes no sense to me. And it shows that you're lacking something, that you're trying to get something from somebody. You're trying to fill a hole, a desire. And it becomes addictive for people. We see this in our society all the time. We know this. I can go into that more deeply, but yes, I totally believe and subscribe to the notion that as men, we should be seeking a woman for a long-lasting relationship, not for a one-night thing. What the hell is that?
Well, I've talked about this. I think guys have to have certain things in place, right, before they want to get into a long-term relationship. It's 5 things. So I would say 100K per year, 6 figures a year, 6 months to 1 year of savings, be in good shape.
Okay, let's stop there for the moment. So he says 100K a year, be in good shape, and have about 6 months worth of savings before having a long-term relationship. I wouldn't disagree that those things, with those things, because we should, I would say, have a certain amount of money, let's say, to be able to provide for our partner, and definitely we should care about our fitness. But none of it is a should, though. None of this is a should. You can find someone on your own wavelength. For example, I've met couples who literally walk around barefoot and live off the land, and they're happy. The woman is happy, the man is happy. That's how they want to live. So never have this notion, my fellow expressions of consciousness, particularly the men I guess I'm talking to right now. No, the women too. Never have this perspective that there's only one way to, there's only one type of man or woman that you can get, and it's like a carbon copy of the societal notion that it's having money. I mean, lots and lots of money, like 100K a year is quite a lot of money. Having a big house, having lots of savings and things like that. It helps, of course, but it's not 100%. It's not 100% the only way that the universe will provide for you. You can be provided by the universe or God. Okay, I use those names interchangeably. You can be provided by following your highest excitement and things like that, and trusting. You can find someone who wants to walk barefoot with you in the jungles and doesn't want a house with bricks. Like, literally doesn't want it. I'm a spiritual person. I've been in these hippy dippy communities. There's some people literally just, wear the same clothes every day, hardly wash, and they're happy. A lot of the time they're smoking certain things, but whatever. Like, don't think as a man that you absolutely have to be a certain way to find the woman of your dreams, because all you need to do to find a woman of your dreams is be yourself authentically, and she will appear, and vice versa. It will just happen. The universe has to give you a reflection of what you are putting out. However, that being said, of course, speaking like sensibly, yeah, of course, I would suggest it's good to have a good amount of savings in your bank if you can.
Have at least 50 partners, right? Sexual body count.
Ugh, disgusting. What do you mean? Ugh. You should have at least 50 sexual partners before you get into a long-term relationship. No. And I'm saying this in a judgment way. I'm saying this again as another angle of the all that is, because he's another angle of the all that is. I'm not judging him. He's another me. I'm another him. You are another me. I'm another you. This will always be the truth. It's unchanging. However, in this relative world, 50 partners. First of all, that could take absolutely years for a man to acquire. because it's not so easy to just, you know, get somebody into bed, which is just a nasty term, I think, very crude. But also, you're going to diminish the light and the sacredness of what you are. You're not just a body. You're not here just to have, you know what. It's not just that. If that's what you think is the only way to have pleasure in this world, you are not looking at the world. You're not living in the world. You're not looking at the trees properly. You're not talking to them properly. You're not walking on the grass with your bare foot properly. You're not basking in the sun properly. You're not eating good food properly. You're not appreciating that you have a body properly. We all know the feeling of making love can be the best feeling whilst it's happening. But again, like I said, it's whilst it's happening. It's not going to stay with you for the whole week, is it? It becomes a memory. I'm just being real. It does become a memory very quickly. Okay? So to fixate yourself on something that will become a memory very quickly is not the best way to sustain yourself going forward. You can't just live on memories. You have to live on something that you can have in every moment of the day, and that's contentment in who you are and what you are. That contentment needs to be your base, not, oh, it feels so good to have sex, or I'm so good at it, or whatever. The feeling, yeah. No, you're going to become an addict, seeking for that dopamine effect, and just using women or using men. That's soul destroying. And what happens is you start hurting one another because one of you actually wanted to be with that person. Then that person feels hurt and they hurt another person. And that person feels hurt and they hurt another person. It becomes a merry-go-round.
All right, and then is that the last one?
And then there's one more, but that's fine. You could go ahead and engage with what I've said so far.
So the reason I asked that is I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about a year and a half. So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did. And it's
horrible advice, again, in my opinion. Oh my gosh. I mean, the fact that you'd be living a lie as well, like lying to women. Oh, where are you going tonight? Oh, don't worry, I'm just going to see my friends, but really going to see another woman. Oh, what are we? Oh, yeah, you're my girl, but actually really you got a side girl. Because I know how Myron talks. He talks about having a main girl. Okay, and then other girls or side girls, side chicks as they call it. What do you mean a main girl? It should be your only girl. Unless, of course, you're in a polygamous relationship, but that's different. He's not talking about that. So yeah, let's treat each other like we're all sacred. But we have to know that we are sacred. If you are sleeping around, it's because you don't believe your body is sacred. You don't believe you are sacred. I said it. If you do not believe you are sacred, if you are sleeping around, you don't. Yes, you. I'm pointing. It's rude to point. I'm pointing. If you are sleeping around, you don't believe that your body is sacred. Because that which is sacred should not have easy access. It should be hard to get. It should be hard to see, hard to experience, hard to get. If it's sacred, you're not keeping your body as sacred if you're sleeping around as men and women.
Significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But I felt...
Congratulations, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you. And I know you're not against that, but my concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray, because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people, and especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects.
Ooh, yes, that last thing too. Women are not sex objects, but also men, we're not sex objects either. Okay, man, you are not a sex object. And women, again, of course, you've been saying this for the longest time, but as men, we need to understand you're not sex objects either. But yes, it is leaving people away from morality to say just have sex with 50 people before finding the right one as well. That makes no sense. Like testing, like what are you testing? Like just how good they do certain things in bed. Like that's all that matters. When you're 60 years old, are you gonna care about that? 70 years old, isn't it about the person? Like, never underestimate a good conversation with someone who's a soulmate.
women are created in the image of God and they are valuable and they should be treated as such, why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat them? So I think...
So a question for you. You said you got out there dating and meeting women and stuff like
Yep.
that. And then you said that it kind of hurt you.
Yeah.
How did it hurt you specifically? Did you like just start, what happened specifically?
Well, I started warring against my own flesh. It's like trying to fill an empty void. There's a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of every man that can only be filled by God alone. Anything else you try to fill with that's not going to satisfy it.
I agree, but as you all know, I don't believe in God in a religious sense. But I do believe in God as in all that is, the only power that exists.
I tried to do it with sex.
Yeah. So, would it be fair? How'd you meet your wife?
We actually had the #1 dating podcast in North and South Carolina called Who Hurt You Podcast.
Okay.
And I'm also friends with Fresh. I know him very well. I texted him before I came here.
Yeah.
And I know pretty much everyone on your crew. But I was a heavy follower, and you actually inspired me to start the podcast, and I realized what I was doing was wrong.
Yeah. So, would it be fair to say that when you went through that experience, you were able to identify characteristics that you probably found as unredeemable and you probably wouldn't want to commit to, right?
In what way?
Well, when you were seeing these women, right, you probably started seeing patterns in how they behave, how they speak, or whatever. Maybe they're not qualified to be a wife. Because the thing is, right?
Whenever I don't need that, I have the Bible for that. It tells me what to look for.
Yeah, but the thing is that...
I mean, exactly, like whether you have the Bible or the Quran, whatever holy text that you hold dear to yourself, or just good advice from good people, ultimately, you know yourself how you want to be treated. You know yourself how you want to treat others. It's the answers that are inside you. You know how you want to treat others and how you want to feel. You know that. The question really is boundaries. Are you putting up those boundaries of what you know you want and seek and need? Because you might kowtow, you might become an enabler. What's the word? You might enable things in a relationship that really are going against your boundaries. But really, you know exactly what you want. So you don't need to go through 50 women or 50 men to find out what you like. You know what you like. The question is this person, after a few dates, you can find out, of course. I'm not talking about sleeping with them. You can find out just by talking if they are on a similar wavelength to you. Not to mention, especially on the bigger questions, you know?
You were able, and again, you're probably not going to notice it, but when you dated and dealt with all these women, you probably were able to identify characteristics that you were not fond of, or characteristics that would make a woman not a good candidate for a long-term relationship. And I think half the game is figuring out which girls don't qualify for marriage versus which ones that do. And clearly you learned a skill set on how to become attractive and get women.
The thing is, I mean, the last thing might be true. Maybe he learned how to become attractive and so-called get women. But the thing is, yes, of course, you should be dating in order to, well, he didn't actually say this, but I believe you should be dating in order to see if this woman will be a long-term partner for you. But it's because he's legislating or making it prescriptive to have 50 women at least. That's a big number, as opposed to just, try to have a date, find a date, and look for certain characteristics that you like in this person. If you don't like the person, you don't get a second date or third date. Like, simple as that. Not it has to be 50. It's a very high number.
And then you're able to identify the things that you like versus the things that you don't like. And that only comes a lot of times with experience. Now, look, if a guy can go ahead and, find a woman as a virgin and be attractive and be able to understand how to navigate that, that's great in modern times. But the reality is a lot of guys don't. And I mean, even in your success story, you had to go through a lot of bad women to be able to identify your current wife as the one. So failures are good. They're good.
Yeah, failures, failures in the sense of socioeconomic or maybe even relationship failures could be good. But there's a difference with what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're warned against our soul. Jesus Christ commands us to marry one woman. That's it.
Sure.
And what you were causing me to do was sin against myself. And that's the point I'm trying to get to. It's immoral.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take personal responsibility, bro. Because here's the reality.
No, I do, 100%.
Yeah, so
very publicly, I have in
that's,
front of
and
over
that's why
40,000 people. I've done that.
Yeah, great. But the point I'm trying to make is I teach guys a skill set, right? If I give you a gun and you shoot yourself in the foot, is that my fault? If I taught you how to properly use it, how to disarm it, disassemble it, how to load the mag.
Not a good analogy, because it'll be like saying, it'll be like teaching this person how to use a gun and literally saying you have to shoot 50 people before you know that this is the right gun for you.
In properly, if I give you the skill set, then you shoot yourself in the foot, right? Is that really my fault? No, I just arm you with the skill set. Then you choose what you want to do with it. Now, obviously, you wanted to go on toward a sex escapade, which is, I guess, fine. But the reality is, I armed you with the tools to become an attractive guy, and you utilize that. You can't come back and get mad.
No, you didn't arm me with that. I became attractive when I followed Jesus. That was it.
Oh, okay. Now it's changing the story.
No, I'm not changing any story. It's one thing to be attractive in the sense of gaining sexual partners, but it's a completely different thing to be attractive to someone that wants to marry you and spend their life with you and have kids with you. Those are two completely different sexual attractions.
Very true.
If I walk in here looking like Thor, I'm 6'2" and shredded, obviously I'm going to be attractive to women, but it doesn't mean that that's a relationship that produces value for me and my family.
And again, everyone is different, right? For you, it took some time, and you found God, and you shifted. But the reality is, I gave you the skill set, and then you choose what you want to do. That's up to you, and you made that decision, not me. I just taught you what to do.
Exactly. It's on me 100%. I'm not placing blame on you. But what I'm telling you, from someone that listens,
here's the other thing too that you got to understand.
What happens when you speak to people and tell them to do these things.
Here's the other thing too. Like, now you're operating with 20/20 hindsight. You went through it. You experienced
Correct.
it.
That's true.
A lot of guys need to get their hand burned sometimes to figure out how things work. Because let's be honest, men are very stubborn.
Why do they need to do that? If they find a God-fearing woman, they wouldn't do half the stuff you're talking about.
Well, here's the thing. Finding a God-fearing woman in today's day and age is a lot harder said than done, right? So
I did it.
Yeah, it's a lot harder.
No. Just because something's hard to do doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, especially if it's beneficial for you. So even from the context of Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, or Hinduism, like, if there's a religion that you are a part of and you want to find someone who's in that religion, just because there may be less people who are religious now, it doesn't mean you can't find that person. Because again, so-called God, so-called the universe, so-called the source, so-called all that is, will literally do its best to find a partner for you. I don't know if you guys realize just how many people there are in the world. People downplay that. There are so many people in the world. I don't need to even go into the spiritual, but I will as always. But there's so many people in the world that you have not met, and you just need that one. Remember, you just need one. You don't need 50 perfect soulmates. You need one. And that can happen by, again, being the person that you want to be, living that way. It's going to attract someone who's into you, for you, as you. That's what you want, isn't it? This is what is necessary to do. It's not about, it's so hard to do, so therefore I'm just going to sleep with 50 women, 100 women, 1,000 women, 100 men, 1,000 men. That's ridiculous. That's scarcity mindset, which is fear mindset, ego mindset. That's not abundance mindset. That's not, again, having content in yourself. You have to be content in yourself and value yourself as sacred. I know that not only is your body sacred and your mind sacred, etc., etc., but reality itself is genius. It's intelligent. There's no way that you can't attract that which resonates with what you are in the moment. So when you're attracting bad, let's be honest, there's a part of you that is wanting something like that, or that is like that, or doesn't worthy themselves like that. So they kind of just expect to be used. So you find someone's going to use you. Let's be honest, there's something there. Whereas when you have strong boundaries, all of a sudden, those people don't try it anymore. Or you can be tested, but again, that'll be your test to brush them off. So I don't know who coined the quote, but the universe conspires to help you, for sure.
And so did everyone in my whole family. So it's not that hard.
Yeah, that's anecdotal from your perspective. But again, you learned the skill set, you were able to find a wife, and I'm happy about that. But you got to take a little bit of accountability here and understand that you basically got a loaded gun and shot yourself in the foot. You're trying
Correct.
to blame me for it.
No, I'm not blaming you. Like I said, I take accountability. There's a big difference there.
Okay.
But look, nothing against you. Like I said, I've hung out with Fresh 8 or 9 times recently. I love him, and I think your heart is in the right place. But I just wanted to give you from someone that actually listened to what you were saying to do, read your book, and it didn't work. That's all I was trying to do for you.
Well, actually, it did. You didn't notice it yet.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to identify your wife and have been able to find her and figure out what characteristics you like and don't like, right? Unless you went through that.
My wisdom came from the Bible, not you. But I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bro, that is so not true. He just basically said, because you followed my advice, that's why you have a wife. But again, no, it's limited thinking. Again, guys, I'll leave you with this. I know I get really passionate, but it's just so beautiful how the world is, how the universe is, how God is. You just need to be yourself and trust. This is a big part of the problem, is when we don't trust. You got to trust. You have to be happy with yourself. If you're not complete with yourself, how can you find somebody else who's complete? If you're broken, you're going to find someone else who's broken to try and get together to make a whole. That's what you're both doing. You have to be complete yourself. And when I say complete, I don't mean having everything figured out. No, I just mean being content and appreciating and having gratitude for who you are and what you have. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And that alone should bring a smile to your face. Yes, I know that I have running water. Smiling. I can walk in the park. I can listen to a video. There's an abundance of people out there. But they're not going to walk into your environment, your experience, if you feel less than. You want some awesome person when you feel less than? It's not going to work. And again, seeking to have 50 sexual partners is you feeling less than. You don't realize it, but that's a less than thing. You don't feel whole. You're seeking to fill a gap. As he said, you're seeking to fill a gap, and it won't be filled by the material. It won't be. It can't be. People use drugs, many things. Maybe even binging YouTube channels. It has to be from yourself, by yourself. You have to be content with yourself, by yourself. I mean, like literally, like by yourself. You need to be content with who you are when you are by yourself. No, oh, I need this to feel good. I need this to feel better. I need this. No, just, yeah, I'm happy with myself. I would like to have a relationship. I would like to have this. I like to have this. I'd like to go there. That's perfect. But also, I'm fine with who I am. I love who I am. I am my best friend. Things like that. You have to find this. And when I say that which is outside yourself, I mean this expanded aspect of yourself. Outside of yourself meaning outside of your limited identity. Because you're not that. I could say much more on this subject. Maybe I'll make a separate video before this video becomes too long. So, peace, my fellow expressions of consciousness. Have a wonderful day or evening, and let me know how you thought about the video, what you thought about the video, and take care.